Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into Peter Thiel's super influential book, 0 to 1. It's all about startups and innovation, but fair warning, his core ideas challenge some of the biggest things we're taught about business. And really, it all kicks off with one single, incredibly powerful question.
You see, for Thiel, the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something that gets built by people who can truly think for themselves. So he doesn't start with an answer. He starts with this really tough question that he asks pretty much everyone he interviews.
Now hold on, this isn't just some clever riddle to trip you up. Thiel is convinced that a good answer to this question is the secret to everything. It's how you find new opportunities, how you build real value. It's basically a hunt for what's hidden in plain sight.
I mean, think about it. If you ask anyone what makes a market healthy, they're gonna say competition, right? We learn it in school, we hear it everywhere, that competition makes us better, it drives prices down, that it's the heart of capitalism. It's an idea that's just baked into our thinking.
But here's the twist. This is where Thiel drops his own contrarian bomb. He argues that this core belief we all have about competition isn't just a little off. He says it's a destructive myth that actually leads companies straight to ruin.
Whoa, okay, let's unpack that. Capitalism, according to Thiel, is all about accumulating capital, right? Profits. But what does intense competition do? It just grinds those profits down, sometimes to nothing. So his point is, if you want to build something that lasts, you have to find a way to escape that brutal day-to-day dogfight.
And let's look at a real-world example, because this is where it gets crazy. The airline industry is the poster child for brutal competition. In 2012, they created hundreds of billions in value, but you know how much profit they made per passenger? 37 cents. Now compare that to a monopoly like Google, which in that same year kept over 21% of its revenue as pure profit. That is a massive difference.
So here's the weird part. This state of perfect competition is what economists actually see as the ideal state of things, where supply perfectly meets demand. But for an actual business, it's a total nightmare. It means you're just a commodity, you have no real profits, and you can't possibly plan for the future. It's a race to the bottom, and nobody wins.
Okay, so if competition is basically a death sentence, what should a new business actually be aiming for? Well, according to Thiel, the answer is pretty simple, even if it sounds a little intense.
And let's be clear, when he says monopoly, he's not talking about some mustache-twirling villain from a board game. A creative monopoly is a company that is just so darn good at what it does that nobody else can offer a decent substitute. Think about Google with search. By solving a unique problem, these companies end up creating whole new categories of value for everybody.
And when you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day. Competition forces you into this ruthless, short-term survival mode. But a monopoly, because it has these lasting profits, actually has the freedom to think about more than just making money. It can afford to treat its people well, to work on ambitious long-term plans, and, as Thiel argues, to even be more ethical.
This is one of my favorite parts. Thiel takes Tolstoy's famous line from Anna Karenina, and he just flips it on its head for business. The message is clear. Success isn't about being a better version of somebody else. It's about being fundamentally, uniquely different. The path to failure? That's the crowded one, where everyone's fighting over the same little piece of the pie. And what this means, and this is so important, is that a lot of the conventional wisdom that came out of the dot-com bust is just plain wrong. The whole startup world got obsessed with taking tiny little steps and staying lean. But Thiel argues that what we really need are bold plans that aim to create entirely new markets.
All right, this is the big question, right? If a monopoly is the goal, how in the world do you actually build one? Well, Thiel doesn't just leave us hanging. He lays out the specific things that define these kinds of amazing, durable businesses.
So Thiel lays out 4 key ingredients, let's call them, that these powerful monopolies almost always have. And they don't just have one, they usually combine them in a way that makes them incredibly hard to beat. Let's break down how this works.
First up, it all starts with your own unique technology. But here's the thing, being just a little bit better isn't gonna cut it. To really break out of the competitive gravity well, your solution has to be at least 10 times better than the next best thing. A 10x improvement is so huge, it makes the choice for customers a complete no-brainer.
But a killer product isn't the whole story. You need a killer strategy to go with it. And the right move isn't to go after some massive market on day one. It's actually the opposite. Start with a tiny, super specific niche that you can absolutely own. That's how you get those powerful network effects going, where the service gets better the more people use it.
Just think about how Facebook started only for Harvard students. And once you've done that, once you've dominated that niche, you start expanding. And this is all building towards the real end game, which is to be the last mover. That means you make the last great leap in a market and then you get to enjoy decades of success. This whole position is then locked in by the other two things: a powerful brand that becomes the default choice and massive economies of scale, where you're so big it's just cheaper for you to do business than anyone else.
So all of this, escaping competition, building a monopoly, it all comes back to the core idea of the book, which is captured perfectly right there in the title. It's the difference between creating something brand new and just copying what's already out there.
Think of it this way. Going from 1 to N is, well, it's horizontal. It's taking something that works and just making more of it. Globalization is a great example. But going from 0 to 1, that's vertical. That's technology in its purest form. It's the act of creating something that has never existed before. It's definitely the harder path, but it's where all the value is.
And this quote just nails it. It's the key takeaway. If you're just trying to copy what these legendary founders did, you're missing the whole point of what made them so successful in the first place. They didn't follow a recipe, they wrote a new one, they went from 0 to 1. So in the end, Thiel leaves us right back where we started, but with a new lens. He reframes his contrarian question for the world of business. And this isn't just about startups, it's a challenge for all of us to look for those secrets nobody's found yet and to have the guts to actually go out and build the future. So what important company is out there just waiting to be built? What will you create?